Live into the game, so we should be transferring over. Bada bing, bada boom, and Mirage is live. For those of you still in the stadium, I know it's starting to get late, but can you make a little bit of noise? Can we feel some hype, ladies and gentlemen? Let's go!
Straight into the pistol again. Argentina on the CT side. They're going to be having that kit and a smoke on MBL. So much fun to be had here.
Tons of fun.
Sweden on the opposing side. Very tactical play. We have a double Tech 9, double armored, triple smoke, one flash peak 250.
250. That damn Loch Ness monster 350.
Sweden looking to set themselves out over towards the A site as well. Now they already have underpass control. They've been able to put two players up towards connector, and this hasn't even been spotted yet. So the A site certainly about to crumble. But again, they do have those tools if a retake is needed. Straka going to be looking to disengage. Players trying to force him out from the position, but he finds the first headshot traded by Slap. One of those raid bosses able to create space as that bomb does go down.
Yeah, and they've actually got jungle control now back onto the CT side, and you can see they've pushed two players down in towards CT spawn. There's no flashbang left for Sweden, so they're just going to take the aggressive peek, and it's Slap again. Able to find another frag. Delphin's going to fall back. They're going to be able to goosh up another player. Tommy's going to go down, and they're making it happen again. Mayday going to chime in with the double himself, and it's all down to Johnny Boy, 1 versus 4. He's only going to get one out of it. Delpan finishes him off, and again, Sweden walk away with a pistol round victory.
I mean, it's kind of interesting that there's actually so little mid-presence from the side of Argentina that those players are allowed to just walk up forward. But then at the same time, they have the player outside of the kill hole just kind of waiting for the window boost. So maybe that's what they anticipate as opposed to the connector rush. And I think that the connector rush kind of facilitates that fast pace that Sweden are looking to throw their way. So again, it helps, of course, that they trade out to the CT side. Straka able to find at least one frag before he's dropped. But it will be Argentina back into this one with a double scout purchase armor CZs.
They won this on overpass.
Exactly. We've seen them use this to their avail, not even off the scouts. So we'll see what they can do here in another round number 2.
Yeah, that round, that HE actually hurt pretty bad on Johnny, armorless over in window room with a scout. He's going to eat 60 points of damage from that one, but the scout from Straka could do some damage as they're going to pour out, and they're going to do it raw. They're not going to put out any smokes. He's going to be able to chime in. He does find some damage on the Slap. He's going to be looking for the headshot. Able to find a shot there on a Manic as well, so he's getting them low enough for these pistol players to find... Oh!
Still though, NBL able to find one, and now this player's flash. He's trying to reel backwards here, but Straka is able to capitalize. So it is a 3 versus 3, and Sweden do have incredibly tagged players. Now Adder creating more space. This is going to be helping up Argentina, but Johnny Boy's looking to come back into this one and make up for his mistake. Straka dropping one. Again, HP low for all 4 of these remaining players, and the bomb is not yet down, so there's absolutely no rush for Argentina right here.
Yeah, and the biggest part about this too is they're unarmored players on the CT side versus the armor of the terror side, so that's one saving grace that Sweden has. But this positioning that Johnny Boy has gone back to, he's going to be over on catwalk. They're going to go for the plant, but the scout frag comes in. That's 3 on the round now from Straka, and there's the peek, and Straka single-handedly shutting it down. Even after a TK comes out from Johnny Boy and they have to play from the disadvantage, he makes it happen. He tagged up. He actually finished off both of the players that he tagged up earlier in the round. So he hit 6 shots into that round, maybe even more than that, to finish off those players. And you can see he's starting off 5-1. He was one of the players that was a little bit quiet through overpass until the last couple of rounds. But this time around, he's going to start off with a hot hand, and I like seeing it.
Yeah, I mean, even better for the side of Argentina is that Sweden invested into double AKs that round. So now they grab both of those for absolutely free. They're able to drop an M4 over, and there's no SMGs here. So they're playing respect to the side of Sweden as they should. Now, of course, they do still have 2 kits, and this allows them to grab incendiaries, Molotovs, all sorts of utility on top of this. And Sweden, they're not looking to force buyback. Instead, they've got that triple deagle, just looking to play the frags, but they do, of course, have to play this one slowly. Tutan going to be getting aggressive over here towards catwalk, looking to reel off backwards because, again, look at that damage.
Oh, yeah. That's really, actually really scary. Johnny Boy down on 18, Tutan going to be on 21, and they haven't really done much to Sweden. This is an unarmorless, or an unarmorless, I think that's a double negative, an armorless Sweden side. So they're going to start getting some cat control. They're going to start pushing up into the site. And it's going to be Tommy that's going to have to do most of the work here. And I'm not really sure what happened, so I'm just going to go ahead and speculate to this one. Because our feed froze up top here, but it's going to be the double deagle coming in from both Slap and Delpan. And that man advantage is going to go back into the hands of the Swedish side. Bomb finally does get planted, and they salvage an M4 and a FAMAS. And as of right now, this retake is going to look nigh impossible with 2 players very low at the moment with Straka and both Johnny bleeding internally. But Johnny over from window room is going to be able to find one. That's going to be Sweden's Zelos down and out. And they're going to be looking for a little bit more as this round goes on. But for now, it looks like they just want to procure those weapons into the next round. We do see another trade go out. That's going to be Delpan. And Delpan again finds a second one. That's 3 on the round for Delpan. and he's going to be looking to close this one out, as it is going to be a round traded back for Sweden.
That's a tight, really tough bullet to bite on, but Argentina don't have a choice in the matter. And again, I think it does come down to being two players incredibly tagged right away. So even though they have those rifles, they're not able to take those risky initiatives because instead they're forced on the back foot. They have to play passive, where we see actually Argentina kind of sometimes maybe struggle, as opposed to when they're in control of situations. That's when they never seem to slip, or at least incredibly rarely. So to see this one going back and forth, I think this is the exact kind of start that one could have expected. It is nobody's game to call, just as we had said before we took that break. CZs, of course, across the side for Argentina once more. They've got those double rifles, exactly, a force buy. Very little utility, but still enough to work with, as Sweden quite clearly have the advantage.
Yes, they do. They've got the firepower advantage across the board. They've got the utility advantage as well. But the big part about this is how Argentina have been able to utilize these pistols, these CZs. I mean, not a lot of teams you'll see anymore that'll buy up heavy onto the CZ75 and do a lot of the rounds. You usually see the 5.7, the Tech 9, and the Desert Eagle. And seeing the fact that they go for the rapid fire just so that they can get those kills. And the biggest part about that, too, is let the rifles do the damage and then follow up with the pistols. Let them finish off those wounded players, maybe salvage a rifle out of that, or pick up the rifle off the wounded player and be able to find it. But a UMP frag does come out. That is going to be Zealous, able to find out Johnny over there on Catwalk, and now Tommy is in a very compromising position around the corner. He's going to be able to spot it, pushes in, finds one. He's going to have to reload. Oh, he stays alive somehow for a little while longer at least, and Teutonen's going to be able to find one. We're down to a 2 versus 2, and they've salvaged a FAMAS.
And Straka is also coming from the back lines now. Luckily for Sweden, they're able to get the timing into it, but the bomb's yet to cross, so Straka lines it up. Straka knocks it down. It's a 2 versus 1 now, and not only do they have the 2v1, but there's so much time before, of course, Zelos is going to be able to get over towards this bomb that he has no clue where either of these players could be.
Yeah, and I mean, Straka killed him on the ground. A little bit of an inane molly there, but that's going to be okay because I think it still blew up on top of what they did. Smoke is going to come out around the corner. He's going to use the sound from the AK to muffle his footsteps as he runs on by. The big thing is he's got 15 seconds, and he's going towards the B-bomb site where both CTs are.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, one player is coming now hot from his heels behind. That Molotov going to be forcing the hand, but the bomb goes down. That denies the initial plant, but there is still time here. Zelos able to grab it. Because he throws that own molly, he's now been given a bit of space. Straka has been able to close the distance towards that site. And of course, he knows that there's a man inside of apartment. Zelos able to grab one more. It's all down to the 1v1. Straka having to come up big, but it's Zelos instead with a win. 4 frags in the round and a 1 versus 2 clutch to keep Sweden in the advantage.
Yeah, now that's going to force Argentina to actually save one round, and this is a really solid start for Sweden. I mean, you see the rounds get traded back and forth and back and forth. I thought it was going to come down to a 2-2 scoreline after that was all said and done, but Sweden, they pull it back off of the hero play from Zelos. And, I mean, those were his first 4 frags into this map as well, so he's able to chime in, he's able to get it done, find the frags, get it all, taking hero, and secure the round for his team. Johnny, he's trying to dance behind this smoke, but not a lot going on here. Slap somehow, though, he's down to 3 HP. He was over towards Palace, so it looked like they actually did push up into Palace early on and try to make something happen, but unfortunately that's not going to be the case. So we will see some damage received on both sides, but the opening pick is going to go the Sweden way. Oh.
Yeah, Adder with some positioning, but it's met by Resistance. 210 with the frag off the vanilla pistol. Excellent stuff here to at least give Argentina some sort of a success here in round number 5. But there's an also going on to the duel. It's another frag here. It's going to be Tommy to take down another. He topples the player, and he's able to fall back as well. He escapes with his life, but very little health. But still, again, not much to work with, especially now as Delpan takes down another.
Yeah, but the big thing about this is you've got Slap on 3 HP. You've got Delpan on 38 HP. Even though you've got some gravely injured CTs on the board, they're going to eventually have to push in towards one of these sites. And Johnny Boy, he's playing a very, very intelligent angle over here in one site, and then they've also got the other 2 players in the other. So it's going to be a matter of where are they going to push in. And they're sending the lit player in first. That's going to be Slap, 3 HP. See what they can do. Johnny, I mean, right on the other side of the smoke, and he's playing this one really, really smart right now. 30 seconds left on the clock. They're going to bring Delpan in through Palace. He's going to spam through. He's got the gap in the smoke, or the gap in the boxes, but unfortunately, Delpan is going to be able to capitalize on that. Now the rotation coming around from the CTs through the catwalk and CT spawn side, and a nice shot there. Slap goes down. A decent amount of damage once again dealt onto Zealous as he's down to 59, but the bomb plant finally on the board, and Teutonen going to be 1 versus 2, and both players falling back towards A ramp. It is planted for him. And 1 shot, 1 kill is all that's necessary for Delpan with that AWP.
He's slowly working his way up here. He's going to have to be cautious. No kit as well. So, I mean, obviously this round situation is not going to be favoring Argentina whatsoever. But at least he does still have some positioning within the site. There's a chance. A very small one, but it's there. Taps the bomb once. Of course, Zelos just taking a little bit of a peek. Sees, of course, there's no defuse, and then he finds himself back in the cover. 210 going to be closing the distance, but that's exactly that. Doesn't expect the second man to be so close, and it's going to be a cleanup from Sweden, but albeit a very close round considering they had only vanilla pistols.
Yeah, I mean, 3 USP frags or 2 USP frags and a Deagle frag into that round. I mean, that's more than they really could have asked for into that one. I mean, it would have been nice if they won that one, but again, I mean, we're going to see that 4-1 scoreline. Sweden in control of this one right now. This is their map pick, and this is kind of what we expected to see. Coming out from the Swedish side is just, this was their pick. They're looking to shut this one down and go on to map 3 and try to recover going into cash later on in this series. But for now, I mean, Argentina, this is going to be their first real big buy down because of the round trades that happened in the beginning. I mean, it was Sweden that won the pistol. Argentina wins the subsequent round afterwards. Then we have a Sweden round trade after that, a force buy from Argentina. So it's been back and forth, and Defiand, nice shot, takes down Tutunin. He's going to get his way right in towards that B-bomb safe, but he is not ready for Tommy.
Nope, Tommy takes him by surprise, and NBL yet to be revealed here. Zelos going to be trying to bring it in from mid, but meanwhile, Maytag's taken down at the bottom of connectors. So there is this kind of desynchronization between the pushes here from Sweden. Luckily, Adder is still over towards Palace, is able to equalize things into the 3 versus 3, but still, there's a minute left to play with here, and Sweden's offense is incredibly split. However, they are rotating that bomb on back, but Adder catches the push. Straka looking to take an initiative, and unfortunately for Argentina, it is shut down.
Yeah, he was going for an information play. Can't really say that I agree with that, being that it's a 3 versus 3, and you've still got control of both of the bomb sites. But the peak comes out. This is now the peak comes out, and Adder's going to be able to find another one over in CT spot. He's looking for another one onto Tommy, and now they know exactly where the last player is. But they've isolated a 1v1 if he so desires. He could have pushed back out into the site and tried to deny the bomb plant, but both players coming around, one from jungle, one going to be playing from the backside of default, and we'll see whether or not Tommy can have a little bit of magic into this. He's got 2 kills on the round, looking for that 4K, but these post-plant positions, I think Slap's actually going to run all the way back around through mid towards Catwalk to have that insurance policy. So they've got the connector player that's going to be watching this. The Molly goes out with the bomb, and then they're going to have both players over in this area in just a moment. So this is going to be a very difficult clutch for Tommy, and yeah, it's not going to happen. Zealous going to be able to clean that one up, and that is going to put Sweden into an even more favorable position as they pick up one more round, and they put Argentina back onto the save.
Yeah, and this time a gun round as well, right? Yeah. I mean, it could have been arguable, of course, that the way that those rounds just kind of flip and flop back does allow for the economic disadvantage to be what really does give Sweden that extra little bit of a push. But now, of course, they've confirmed their presence here on Mirage by winning versus guns. And it's going to put Argentina back into the pistols, P250s, Deagle, and a CZ with Tommy on some Kevlar. Meanwhile, Sweden, guns across the board, and Defiand on the MAC-10 looking to make some money now. Tommy's up close to the positioning. They never see it coming. Defiand's still not sure what to shoot at, but luckily Maytag's nearby and able to take the frag. 210 going to be smoked out as well, so an excellent usage of utility here to give Sweden a nice little comforting push in towards the site. But they are still playing this one very cautiously, giving the respect to Argentina. Never mind, they take it back. 210 down and out.
The reaction from Defiand was precious. He was just like, what? Lane coming around, but it's going to be Defiand. He's only got 3 HP, but he's making the MAC-10 work. He's going to do a little bit of money farming, $600 in the bank. You know he wants to pick up the AWP in future rounds, and it's just down to Johnny Boy and NBL. Don't tell me that Argentina's run out of energy now, because they are flat-footed into some of these rounds. And I mean, a couple of times we've seen some kind of poor decision-making from them. I mean, the Palace push with the 3-on-3 was a little bit questionable. That nets 2 frags to Adder. And I actually like the fact that Sweden is playing this smart, saving a Molotov for the late game, just in case there's a ninja attempt that comes out. They drop the Molotov out, now they can all fall back. They don't have to worry about dying with the bomb. Defiand's going to stay alive with that MAC-10 in hand. And Sweden are going to find themselves up 6-1. Troublesome right now for Argentina.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's Mirage, right? So 6 rounds is already a fantastic start for Sweden, and Argentina still have all these rounds to get through. So unless they find some footing underneath them soon, it could very well be Sweden with the dominating score on, again, the half that Argentina are generally performing in. But this time they do switch things up. They've got that double op setup with a limitation to the fact that Johnny doesn't have any armor. They do still have enough defuse kits. They do still have enough smoke grenades. Again, like the bare bones are there, but there is this kind of stark disadvantage. Still, though, damage delta slaps drop down to 11, and now it's going to be Johnny Boy looking for the peak, but the jump cross from Defiand pans out. Johnny Boy grabs the frag, and it's Argentina now falling back. This is what I like to see. No longer are they taking risky initiatives, but instead just using this advantage to their avail.
Yeah, not only that, but if they go back to a more passive setup for a couple of rounds, then they can play aggressive, like off the cuff, another round where they can push, Johnny Boy to watch mid from window room, where they can drop 2 players out in the middle, 1 into underpass, or push 2 up towards the top side of mid and take over mid control on the CT side, which we saw Singapore do a lot of times when they played on Mirage, which threw Denmark for a little bit of a twist there. Something that we see like on the pro side, SK Gaming does very, very well. He's coming from somewhere, you just never know where. We'll have to see whether or not Argentina can actually capitalize. They've got the 2-man advantage. Adder's picked up the AWP that's fallen off of Defiand. As of right now, it's kind of a little bit of a stalemate, but mid control has been taken over. And Johnny, 1 more for his name.
Still 2 players left, but again, now they've lost that AWP,
I like
right?
that op name, Nightmare.
I mean, if anybody's experiencing a nightmare, it's Argentina right now, but still they do have a chance to bring this one to the second. They're going to have that bit of a response, and surviving with 5 players would be phenomenal. Instead, however, there is still a chance, but no, it's denied as Matig does go down. Of course, the only damage being dealt in that round's to Tommy, so again, they find a victory and find it in the best way possible as they clear out their opponents and keep themselves up.
Yeah, especially since they've got a double up setup now.
Exactly.
That's one of the big things too. It's going to be interesting to see who they shuffle that around to. I assume it's going to be Straka, but Tommy's actually the one that's keeping it for now. And this is where Argentina are going to have to shine. I mean, they've got a very expensive setup. They've got a slight stability in their money right now. But because Sweden was able to rattle off 5 rounds in a row, they've put themselves into a favorable money position themselves. But Adder with the AK finds Straka early on in the round. We aren't going to see a trade, so it's going to come down to 2 enforcers and 2 ops to try to lock down a bomb site, which is definitely possible, but if the smokes come out, it's going to be very difficult. And look at this play, ballsy from Johnny.
Yeah, looking to take an initiative now. Unfortunately for him, he's not going to be beating anybody there because it's already a split from mid, and unfortunately there's a man inside of the back of jungle as well, so NBL is taken from the back. It's 210 still over here towards Catwalk, looking to find the timing towards that cat peak, but still Johnny Boy taking not only the push here, he finds the first, but he doesn't land the kill. At least this is information netted for Argentina, and Tommy is able to stop that push inside of the connector, so there is kind of this bit of an opportunity here for Argentina to capitalize. It's still a man advantage to the favor of Sweden, but Johnny's aggressive positioning may not be expected. Slap, however, catches wind of it, grabs the frag, and now it's 4v2.
Yeah, a little unfortunate. Johnny actually jumps in that situation and barely can see his head over the top of that smoke. Remember, observer smokes are slightly different than the actual client-side smoke, so a little bit more thin towards the top like my hair. But we will be seeing Tommy pick up another frag in this one and finally trade it out. And he's going to go down to the hands of Slap. And Tommy flashed, mollied, naded, pushed back. Still has 98 health to work with. Now he's got 0. Zealous in a prime position. Picks up the double on the round. And 7 rounds now for Sweden. And that reset is going to hurt a lot. We might see an investment out of Argentina just because they're hovering around $37,000 to $4,000. So they could go for a FAMAS or a UMP force buy into this one. Because they do need to start winning rounds. We talked about how strong their CT side is on this map. But it looks like they're going to play it safe and they're just going to go for the safe.
I mean, unfortunately for them, this is the worst-case scenario. Now, I mean, we mentioned already with Sweden at 6, it was fantastic of a start, but now they're on 7 with a chance for an 8th, and a very easy chance at that. Now, Argentina looking to take the fight as they do have a player on sit-up underpass, but there is, of course, a man in the apartments waiting for exactly that. Still, Defiand getting a little bit risky here as he takes a shot to the chest, little bits of damage just to keep him on his toes as he sits on the top of mid looking for the pick.
Yeah, this underpass presence, this is Johnny Boy that's down here. We haven't seen this play yet from Argentina, but they pull it out for a save round, which is kind of curious to say the least. He does have a flashbang. If he does decide to push up, he can, pop flash his way towards the bottom of the stairs, but they're going to bait from that on the Swedish side, and they're going to work their way back over towards the A bomb site. The bomb was left in T-spawn, so they're going to pick that up and work their way back over. And they have to know that Argentina is going to be on a save. I mean, the economy was in shambles going into that last round. They've formulated the best buy that they possibly could, but unfortunately, it's not going to be enough. Well, the tag and the AK support. Nicely done. I mean, they had an idea, an inkling that there was going to be a push there, and I think that maybe Adder from Palace was able to hear that. But the Desert Eagle from NBL, looking for it, not able to connect it. Adder just jumping around and finding picks. He finds the second one onto Tommy. That's going to leave on Johnny Boy and Tootin', and now just Johnny Boy. So he's going to push his way back around and see if he can't do anything from this position. This is going to be crucial. Looks like he's going to gear up for some saves, so maybe get lucky, salvage an AWP off of Defiand, who does only have 21 HP, and Defiand is the one that's outside of T-ramp right now. So, curious enough, but he's just going to walk his way up, hide in a cheeky corner, and see if he can't find something to close out the round. You can tell he plays on 1020 or 1080p, by the way, or at least a 16:9 res. Just see on the screen.
There it is. Adder with another one. I mean, this is now twice that Adder's been able to, from Palace, open up that A site. Of course, this time it's versus an anti-eco, so a little bit easier of a situation. But still, again, taking that, allowing Sweden to find themselves the bomb plant and another round. You can see him just running around wildly, finding headshots and just taking down the defense. So exactly what Sweden need as they're looking to bounce back from that first map loss. Again, it is now Sweden 6 rounds ahead of Argentina on the T side of Mirage. But at the very least, the silver lining, Argentina with a bye round once more. Johnny Boy in the glass cannon is able to take down Defiand. An advantage for Argentina, something that they've been short of in recent whiles. But 210 still from the top of Catwalk. They're going to be setting this cross. And of course, with Sweden coming from underpass, they may just be walking to their demise.
Yeah, and Johnny Boy's got a bit of a one-way here. This is good. If both of them peak, though, at the same time, it's going to be very difficult for him. He has to hit this opening shot. Flash up and around the corner. He's going to have to fall back from this one, and rightfully so. He gets hung up on the wall, but luckily for him, they do not peek. And I think Zelos might have caught a glimpse, and he spotted Barrel. Yeah, they know that he's somewhere in the corner. They're going to spam it and hope that he crosses, but Johnny Boy, I mean, he outstays his welcome over there by Connector. He's going to go down immediately into the round. So we are going to see both ops off the board, pushing into the Molotov. A little risque there, but he takes a little bit of damage. It's going to be slapped down to 80. And NBL, well, I kind of feel bad for him because, well,
stuck between a rock and a hard place, or in this case,
a slap and a floor.
Exactly. Slap able to grab the frag, a headshot netted to Sweden. This, of course, puts them into the man advantage. And now it's going to be brought back, at least by a moment, as Maytig chimes in with another. Again, these trades upon trades to the favor of Sweden once more. But still, they have to rotate players over towards A. 210 finding the timing, but once more, it's trade frags. Tommy tasked with a 1 versus 2. No utility, but the M4 and the Kevlar means this one's certainly possible. No kit, though, so his hand has to be quick.
Quick it will be. He will find the opener on a Mayday who wasn't looking in the right direction, but that bomb is planted for Connector and Cat. So Slap is going to be in a favorable spot. We'll see what happens into this one. Tommy right around the corner, looking for it, flashbang out. And again, like you said, no kit, so he has to go for the hunt and Slap 2-tap. Takes him down. It's a full house, 2 for Mayday and 3 for Slap. And Sweden, again, another round on the board. And the biggest trouble for Argentina is, again, they're out of money.
Unfortunately, it's been a pattern so far, so I mean, that timing from 210, if he's actually able to grab the kill to Maytig, then this puts them in a very favorable position, right? Yes. Because he can disengage and then allow Tommy to round back, which quite clearly they never saw coming, as he's able to bring that 1v2 back to the 1 versus 1. So Argentina back into pistols, not where they want to be. They don't have a choice in the matter. Defiand already to the top of mid with that op once more, looking for an opening pick, but he might be overwhelmed. The answer is no. It's NBL down and out. Defiand with the first frag, but again, he has, exactly, there's so many players near him, and there he goes.
Yeah, unfortunately, Adder was a little bit too far away at the time. They don't actually pick up the op, and Zealous coming around from the back lines is going to be able to find one. Knows exactly where that last player is. Can push up, thanks for his troubles. Holds down mouse 1, praying that he's going to peek out into it. And that was a little bit risky there. I like what they did on the CT side, though. They actually, I believe it was Defiand that threw out the Molotov and the HE grenade towards Connector, and he actually missed both of them, which afforded the CT side the space that they needed to go for that pinch on A. And you can see the Molotov that's burning in the bottom side of mid. That was meant to be at the stairs at the bottom of Connector to prevent exactly what just happened. Mm-hmm. Luckily, he hits the snapshot. He finds the second one, and Adder's there to bail out, the situation and prevent them from getting that off. But it was a nice change of pace. I would like to see Argentina do something like that on a gun round, or at least put a little bit more emphasis on mid. But it hasn't really been the case. They do have Tommy up in the ladder room. They do have NBL playing from jungle, so they've got a little bit of presence over towards this area, but look at the walkout right now. Slap. Stock has no idea. He does manage to find the opener, but he's going to give up a little bit of real estate now, and he's going to have to just hunker down and pray for backup.
Exactly, but it's not going to be here in time. The Slap does find the headshot. Adder from the bottom of mid as well, chiming in with 1, but NBL is at the very least able to trade frag back at the 3 versus 3. Zelos with a flashbang spots NBL, but NBL spots him as well. It's a repeat and a frag to the favor of Argentina as Sweden attempt to put down the bomb. It's just nades upon nades raining down upon them like hellfire. NBL looking to disengage. Again, they can give a little bit of space to Sweden. Let them play this game. You're in the advantage. Don't get too risky.
Yeah, and I think they know that they have Slap wounded as well, which is why nobody's forcing the issue. That flashbang up and over a little bit too high. Molotov actually comes out. NBL's going to be able to capitalize. He does roast it down to 12 HP, but he stays alive, and now it's down to Defiand, 1 versus 3. We've seen him work some magic in the past. See if he can do anything this time around. He misses the opener. Look for the follow-up shot. Johnny Boy's going to present himself. Unfortunately, Defiand isn't going to hit the timing just right, and that's going to be Argentina picking up the third round. So they're down, but they're not necessarily out of this one. And I mean, yes, they had a lackluster T-side in the last time that we saw them play this map.
Who's to say it's going to happen again, though?
Yeah, maybe they've got something up their sleeve going forward into this one, but so far it's been a phenomenal opening half from Sweden. They have completely dismantled the defenses of Argentina time and time again, and every time that Argentina gets around, they get immediately reset afterwards. And a reset here means that they're going to have an absolutely miserable bye into the final round of the half. That is not the way to start it. Johnny Boy a little bit late to the peak. Yeah. He's going to get punished by Defiand.
That's exactly the spawn favoring Defiand, and then he capitalizes on the opportunity. He knows, of course, that Tommy's pinned inside of this corner, so he's going to use the Molotov to flush him out, and then he should be able to hit the shot, but instead the smoke extinguishes, provides cover, and allows that counter-terrorist to still survive. Tommy damaged to 76, but again, he is still here. He has the presence, and 210 finding a frag on Catwalk will allow him to commit to this. He doesn't have to worry about his back, and NBL chiming in with another. This is now a 4v3. Somehow, some way, Argentina have been able to bring this back, and it is now in their hands, but Tommy's still alive and well. He spots the player dropped, exactly, sees the nade come through. He knows at least 2 of the 3 are nearby.
Oh, he turned around a little bit too quickly on that flash. He's going to get fully flashed up here. A little sloppy from Madig, but he is going to eventually be able to find that and equalize things into a 3v3, but is immediately dunked on by NBL. 2 frags on the round from him, that connector frag, and then he also comes around from the backlines, and they're not going to be ready for Tutanen to come around from the backlines. There's actually a two-pronged attack here. NBL getting himself out through the market window, and then 2 players coming up and flanking Defiand. Looking for it, has to switch over to the secondary, finds some cover. They're both over here, and Adder's going to find one. Defiand with the no-scope once again finds Tutanen, switches over to this M4A4, and he's going to drop a smoke out. He knows that NBL is around here somewhere, and he's going to take the fight, but NBL with the quad kill on the round is able to save it, and Argentina are going to find a 4th, an expensive 4th, but a 4th nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, that moment, that entire thing does come down to the fact that maybe Tommy is able to survive longer than he should have been. Had he not had that smoke grenade to extinguish the fire and also push out, then it comes very possible that Sweden take this site much earlier, and then there's no rotation from Argentina. Then, of course, they could have actually lost those 1v1 duels all across the map that did favor them and allow them to come back. Again, from a man disadvantage, that's exactly what we needed to see from Argentina. It's 4-10, 1 round left in the half. The cash flow to the side of Argentina, since they do have to rebuy, is not all too hot, but at least there is still a chance.
Yeah, the benefit is that they salvaged the op, and he has $5,700 on him, so he's going to have a good buy. Whoever he drops the op to is going to have a good buy. It's just going to be kind of lackluster for the 3 other players. They probably will opt to pick up the M4s just to go for the firepower, and yeah, you'll see they'll pick up 3 M4s, but there's not going to be a lot of utility on some of these players. You can see, I mean, even Johnny Boy, he dropped an M4 over to a teammate for the sake of utility. That went over to Tutanen. You can see 2750 investment. That's all nades, all kit, all armor. So this is the big buy down. This is the last chance to dance for Argentina. They need another round on the board because, like we said before, their T-side hasn't been the most formidable thing on this map in the past. And unless they come out firing on all cylinders like they did on Overpass, then this is going to be very difficult for them to come back from. Even from this standpoint of 11-4, it's going to be, just a big mountain to climb.
At the very least, Sweden don't have an AWP in this one, so Johnny Boy does have that kind of ability to just play the op to his avail, doesn't have to worry for that counter pick, and therefore this actually kind of helps Argentina in the sense that it's more difficult for Sweden to find one of those opening frags with an angle, but instead now they lose a man, and it is going to be Argentina in a favored position once more. Zelos getting aggressive inside of the windows, trying to at least just kind of gain some information, maybe get behind enemy lines, but instead takes one to the noggin, and now, again, 5 versus 4.
A little bonk there, and I like what I'm seeing from Argentina right now. This position from Straka, there's no way slaps.
Oh, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Johnny Boy is going to be there around the corner, though, so they double up on that area, and he's going to be able to find the return frag. Oh, almost hits the dropping player into the site. I believe that was actually, that was Adder that was going into the site. He misses another shot. He's getting chased out, but in the meantime, Tutanen and NBL are able to find the return frags. It's all down to Slap. He's going to finally be able to take down Johnny, but it is going to be a 1v4 now made a 1v3. And see if he can capitalize. 13 HP left on NBL, 100 HP for the remaining 2 Argentinians. It's going to be very difficult for him to be able to make this one happen. Tutanen actually finagling his way over in towards the window room, and it's a double peek on CJ. And he's not going to get past Tommy. So the 10-5 half does come out, so a decent recovery from Argentina, but 10 rounds on the T side for Sweden. They're looking for that map 3. They're looking for that cash.
I mean, let's put it this way. This is the first time we've seen Argentina have a bad CT side.
Yeah.
So it could also be the first time we see them have a good T side.
This is true. This is absolutely true.
Sound logic?
Yeah, I don't see a flaw in that. I don't see a flaw in that. It's yet to be determined, but because we know that Sweden, are very, very strong on pistol rounds. Now they traded pistols in the opening map. Sweden was able to pick up the pistol round in this, but then they got ecoed immediately afterwards by Argentina. So if Sweden can pick up a pistol here and not get ecoed, you're looking at barring a bomb plant in the pistol round, 13-5 scoreline, which is going to be very difficult. And it's just going to be a rush beat, don't stop.
Yeah, exactly. NBL already onto the site. Adder having pushed back. He's able to survive, but only for a moment as NBL finds the opening frag. So it's Argentina not only with a bomb plant, but a 5 versus 4 after plant as Sweden look to retake this one predominantly from Catwalk, where Defiand finds the first frag, looking for another headshot here as they do need to buy time for Zelos to flank, and he will find another. It's now 4v3 from the man disadvantage to the man advantage, and Defiand with another one. 2 players left standing here for Argentina, both of them separated. Slap chiming in with a frag of his own. And the last man standing's Johnny, but how big can he go? It's a 1v4 and he's denied. Defiand putting the team on his back and bringing Sweden to the 11-5.
Sweden is so good on these pistol rounds, man. I mean, they played, granted they only had Adder over at the B-bomb site, right? So they're playing basically a retake on B. Let that player hold the Alamo as best that he can, try to get as many kills as he can out of that. Unfortunately, he gets none. But then the team just swarms around behind that. They don't lose a single player after that, which is the most impressive part about that. Defiand, we're going to take a look at it again. That tap was nasty. This one, the flick shot onto Straka, that was dirty as well. But then he peeks his angles properly, comes around the corner, and unfortunately we're not.
Oh, and a fast round this time. Look at this. Sweden already with 4 frags, Slap with 3, Defiand with 1. We get back into the game just in time in that round. Incredibly quick. Obviously, Argentina, by the looks of things, just trying to grem themselves to the A site, grab that fast plant to get that bomb plant in, but instead they are denied on all fronts. Sweden with another round and a very swift one, but at least this facilitates Argentina's rebuy. See a little bit of anti-eco spray down. Great marksmanship once more.
Yeah, really nice from Slap. I mean, he's starting to come alive into this one. He's the frag leader for Sweden at 18 kills. Defiand right behind him with 17, so we're 17 rounds deep. He's still sitting at a 1 frag per round ratio going on right now. Now we see some aggression. It's the early round. Oh, there you go. They one-waited. They were able to find it. And now the push. Look at how they just bombarded the site now. It's going to be difficult for Slap. He's the only one that's over here in defense of this A-bomb site. He does have Defiand from jungle, but they are going to throw some spam out and then fall back. And Slap, he's able to find a little bit of a gap in the smoke. He could capitalize on a second kill here, but he's not going to get so fortunate. And now Straka pushing up aggressively towards CT. He gets naded down. Zealous dunks him. Now we're going to be into a man advantage here for the CT side. Tommy's able to find another one, so they are going to be able to answer the beck and call.
Now another one though for Adder and a double at that, so it's just down to 210. He spots 2 players trying to line them up, but as well there's a third nearby. No, it's not, unfortunately. They had to go for that standard plant. What really helps Sweden in this case is that they retain control of CT the entire time. So as opposed for Argentina being able to grab that bomb plant, cross with the smokes down, and push into CT for the after plant positioning, they all try to fall back, and quite clearly we catch 2 in transition, right? So Sweden able to capitalize onto the situation. Argentina with a bomb plant this time, but considering they bide, that's just not enough. They're back in towards pistols.
I don't think you could have thrown a better nade in that situation.
Nope.
I mean, that was absolutely the epitome of dunk nade right there. 13-5 right now, and Sweden showing no signs of slowing down. We've got a bit of a buy up here from the Argentinians. It's going to be pistols. Armor on 2 players, Straka and Tommy.
Slap, however,
yeah,
presence inside of Connector. He does have a man nearby as well. Matig, if they can do the old bait and switch into him, that would be a great opening for Sweden. But there are players incredibly nearby, and they have to be cautious of the pistols. Slap able to find 1 headshot, and now you can see the players from Cat and Connector trying to chime in with a 3-pronged assault, but it's denied on all counts. Slap with another 2, Defiand with 1, Tommy left standing. He's got the Ds, looking for the Juans, but he's not going to nail it as Zelos cleans things up. The shop is cleared, and it's 14-5.
Yeah, 9 rounds the difference from Sweden now, and you can see in that opening half, I mean, just a tremendous T-side half. A little bit of a recovery from Argentina into the last, 5 rounds. I think they won 4 out of the last 6 or 4 out of the last 5 rounds of their CT side half, but obviously it's just proving not to be enough. They're going to be on tie point right now for Sweden, looking to go up to map point and push this to a 3rd map, which is going to be cash. And at this point, I just don't see Sweden dropping this map. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what Argentina brings to the table if and when we do go to cash, but for now, they're on the back foot, and I mean, they are well on the back foot, and that's not going to help.
Slap chiming in with the first, traded out by 210 at the very least. The underpass play does pan out. It's a 4 versus 3 now as Johnny chimes in with the op frag. That's going to be shutting down the aggression that Adder was trying to throw the way of towards Argentina, but now it's going to be map control to the favor of the T side. Still Defiand able to grab 1. Straka in this engagement, trading health with Maytag, and still now, again, a 3v3, health equal, utility as well, dwindling low. Defiand in possession from the top of last. ladder room, however, as the bomb looks to make its way through the connector.
Yeah, keynote right now is you actually do have 2 kits on the board for Sweden, so if there is a bomb plant, they can actually play a retake on a site, but Zealous won't check the angle. BL's just going to forfeit that with Johnny. Well, he pops off a little bit too early, and Zealous is going to be able to capitalize on 2, and he might have even seen Straka, just the shoulder, pop out from the back lines. It doesn't look like he knows where he is, but Straka is going to be able to capitalize. Finds one, no bomb on his back, and Defiand cleans it up. 15-5 now. Map point for Sweden in map number 2 on Mirage. And, I mean, this has been relentless for them throughout this entire map.
I mean, this is the thing, right? Argentina take the fight straight towards Sweden on their map choice of all places, and now this is a very much different game. Unfortunately for Argentina, they haven't found footing in this, and you can't sugarcoat it. It's been very much one-sided. Sweden in control on all counts. So heading forward, if it is going to be the map 3 cash, if Argentina can't win 10 consecutive, which again is a very tall ask to order, it's going to be tough. AWP in the hands of Defiand, and he grabs himself a leg shot, but not a frag as of yet. The repeat, however, will net him 1. Argentina at an early disadvantage.
Showing the secondary, goes spam for spam to Tommy. The push is coming up from A ramp, but it's Slap again. The spray transfer and a third. Looking to shut this down. It's all on Tommy, and we're looking for map number 3 right here, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to come down to 75 HP in a dream. Finds one. Going to be looking for a couple of more here. I think he knows that Slap is behind the default boxes. A little spam comes his way down to 64. Still looking for something else, but it's a double peek on Catwalk. Map number 2 goes the way of Sweden. We are going the distance into this one. Our first 3-map series, and we kind of figured this was going to happen. Overtime on map number 1. Bit of a blowout there from Sweden. And we are going to be looking for this one. I don't think we're going to have much of a break from this one either. I think we're going to be jumping right into the next map real quick. So we will have to see. But Sweden, with a pretty stellar performance going into that second map, 16-5.
I mean, that's the scary thing, right? As mentioned, it's really one-sided. And our analysts kind of question whether or not Argentina would be able to deal with the pressure as they head forward into the map 3, if it comes down to that, right? Sweden, obviously these players having a bit more of international experience and the like. So it's going to be tough. Especially as Argentina have yet to be in this kind of a situation. Again, it's the first 3rd map of the tournament. It's the first overtime of the tournament, and let that just be evidence of how exciting of a series this is.
Yeah, I mean, there were quite a few rounds in that opening half that came down to clutch plays on Mirage, where it was